Hello, 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 how are you? This is Els coming from Beema's Crafty Corner, and today we're going to be making this project right here. So this is a card, okay? But here's the thing, it's not a card. That's my original ATC. See? So this is a way of, sending an ATC to somebody and doing it with a note card and being able to, just pop it in the mail and send it. And I'm going to show you how to make this little card and how you can get your ATCs done this way. All right, so I'm going to get out all of the supplies and I'll be right back. All right, so let's look at our supplies on this one. We're going to need a paper trimmer. If you have rectangle dies, you're going to want those. I'm going to be using these just because I want it to have a little bit of, so I'm going to be using these decorative ones. Obviously an ATC card, some scissors, scoring tools, a scoreboard. You're going to want these. These are soft sleeves and you get them, I picked this one up at the Hobby Lobby. It was like $4 or something like that. You get 100 of these in here and they're great for storing your ATCs in, but they are vital to this. And then you're going to want some paper. You're going to want some cardstock. And you're going to possibly want some, decorated paper. So, I've decided since this one is Edgar Allan Poe, I am going to use some black cardstock to make both my envelope and my card. So, let me move some stuff out of the way. We'll get the trimmer set up. We're going to go ahead and make a couple of cuts. And then we can move forward, all right? So, I'll be right back. So the first thing we're going to be cutting is going to be the card base itself on this one. And so we're going to cut this at 4 3/4. So we're just going to put this in at 4 3/4. Okay. And we have to have this be 10 3/8. So that is the line between 10 1/4 and 10 1/2. Okay. So that's our base. We're going to cut our envelope while we're here. This is going to be 7 7/8, which is that line just before the 8. 7 7/8 by 6 7/8. Which is the line just before 7. Okay, and if you're going to be putting a background in, let me grab the finished one here so we can look. So if you want to put, like, say, because this one I'm doing in black, if I want to add some paper here and then put white paper over it, then I'm going to need to make those cuts as well. So, all right, so I need to cut a piece for here. So let's get our ruler and measure that. And that is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So we're going to go 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And that will go right there. And then for the inside, to be able to put the sentiment in a writing area, we're going to go 1/4 of an inch smaller on this. So 3 by 4 1/4. 3 1/4. So it's going to give me a place to have my sentiment, okay? I always go backwards. All right, so I have all my pieces cut so I can get rid of this. And I'm going to get out the scoreboard, so I'll be right back. Okay, so on the long side of our card base, we're going to score at 3.5. Light, easy scores. 3.5. And at 7. Okay. And then wherever we have a hill, we're going to make it a valley. Wherever there's a valley, there's a hill. Now, on the short end, you're going to see that there's just a little bit of a gap right here. Let me show you. See, there's a little bit of a gap. On that part, if you want, you can put a notch in here. And that's going to make it easier later on to get the card in and out, okay? So now we're going to do the next part, which is our envelope. We're going to put our long end in. Excuse me. Get our scoring tool out. We're going to do a couple of scores in both directions on this one. So on this envelope, we're going to go at 2 3/4. I got to remember these things. 2 3/4. And then 6 3/8. So go to 6. 1, 2, 3. It's the line just before the 6.5, okay? Then we're going to turn this, and we're going to score at 7/8, which is the line just before the 1. And then out here at 6. Okay? Hills into valleys, valleys into hills. All right. Let me get rid of this, cutting the scoreboard here real quick. And let me show you what we're going to do here. So we're going to take off some pieces. This piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece got to go bye-bye. Okay? We're going to wedge here, wedge here. These are going to be straight cuts, okay? So on the small flap, just inside being to the center of the project, inside of the score line to the first score line, and then cut that out. Same thing on the other side, inside of the score line to the score line, and cut that out. Then on these bottom pieces, we're going to wedge to the X and just up the inside of the score line, just inside of it. Okay? Again, we're wedging to the X and then straight up just inside the score line. All right. So now let's do some corner rounding. You're going to want to round the tops of your pockets. That's the part that isn't wedged. This small flap. We're going to fold in the two side pieces. Adhesive down here. Not up here, because if you do that, you're going to go up too far. Okay? So we're just going to do adhesive here. Right on the very edge. And then in about 1/4 of an inch. That'll keep you within the lines. We're going to fold that up. Give it a little press. And we're going to set this to the side because that's our envelope. The only thing we have left to do is put some double-sided tape on that, okay? Can you mail a black envelope? Absolutely. So I'm going to set that to the side. We're going to bring this part over. We're going to run this through a die cutting machine. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can certainly do this using your plunge trimmer. You just have to make some marks, okay? So we're going to do the die cut first. And to do that, I am going to get one of these that is, you know, just slightly smaller than my ATC, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get the die cutting machine, and I will be right back. So to do this, you want this to be centered on the card. And like I said, you can use a rectangle or square, whatever you want to use, you know. But I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to use some washi tape. Okay. Now, you know, if you have the little magnetic board and all that stuff, then you're good to go. But, you know, if you're like, you know, old school, you have to do it this way, okay? So I'm going to put my sandwich together, put this in, and I'm going to cut it out. Now, I'm only using 65-pound black cardstock here, so it's not a very heavy cardstock. But I'm going to run it back and forth a couple of times just to make sure that I get it well cut. We'll go ahead and take that out. And I'm going to get rid of this. And I've dropped it on my foot a few times, so I know to crank it through. All right. And then we're going to take our die off of here. Just carefully removing the tape. Take the die out. Okay. Now, we're going to glue top and bottom here. Now, if you want to use a little bit of like 1/8 inch tape on the very edge, by all means do that. But make sure that you put the glue on the inside of that, all right? All the way up. So I'm going from the fold all the way to the end. Just a small bead of glue. I'm going to fold this, making sure that I have my lines together, top and bottom. And then I'm going to be doing my matting. And today we're going to use tape. Because I'm being lazy today. Now, if it's directional, make sure you get the direction right. And if you're going to ink, now is a good time. If you want to round your corners, make sure you do that. Okay. Now, we're going to take our ATC and one of our soft sleeves. We're going to put the ATC into the soft sleeve. And then face down, we're going to slide that in. Now I can decorate this a little bit if I want. I can stamp whatever I want, write whatever I want. If you want to cover this part with paper, you're certainly you can certainly do that. There's my ATC in its little frame, and it slides very nicely into the card. Double-sided tape, seal it up, and I can now mail that off to whomever I choose. That's it, guys. That's my little project for today. We have it a couple of ways here. But that's it. That's my quick project for today. I hope that you enjoy this one. And if you do, please leave me some feedback. I love feedback. But that's all I have for you. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, go and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends. And then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. Before you know it, giant crafting community. I go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And on Sundays we play trivia, so come on out and play with us. It's a great game. Great ladies play, and you know, we're, as part of my 1,000 subscriber celebration, we are going to be giving away some fantastic prizes for that. And I have my 12 of 22 journal challenge. That is 12 journals throughout the year of 2022. If you would like to participate in that, you do not need to make 12 journals. Just click on the link in the description box below. It's going to take you over and let you know everything you need to know to participate. And if you want to know what I'm up to, you can check out the community tab here on my YouTube page, or jump on over to my Facebook group. There's a link to that in the description box below as well. And you can check it out. There's featured listing there that tells you everything that I've got going on, all my classes and everything that are coming up, my free classes and all my videos and everything else. It's all there. My life is an open book. But that's all I have for you until I see you again. Stay well. Bye-bye.